everyone, it's Orly here, and I have Dottie here. As always, I don't know if I have you here, if you have me here, I don't know which way that works, but we're both here.
Here. So that's the main thing, right?
Yeah, we're both here. And today's show, I'm excited about because this is a fun one, I think, for a lot of people. Today's topic is and title is "Let's Be Creepy." And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it does have to do with Halloween. So it's not going to be so weird after all. But let's be creepy. We're going to talk about ideas you could do on Halloween, things you can do in your center, and there's just a lot available to do when it comes to Halloween in your center.
Yes, and Orly, it's a lot of children, a lot of parents actually are hesitant to let their children go door to door these days. And so we're finding that when businesses, most especially entertainment businesses, can offer an alternative to those children going door to door, that it's very well received in the community. And that's really what we want to talk about today is a bowling center, a family entertainment center is absolutely one of the best places to have as a source, an alternative for Halloween trick-or-treating. So let's talk a little bit about this. Orly, I know you have young children and you probably too are looking for, ways that they can celebrate that are safe, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I mean, I think, even as a bowling center, I mean, it's pretty easy, put some candy out and you're going to get people that come in, but there's so many other creative things you can do to get more people to come in to stay in, because it's not just about, from the business side of it, you want people to stay there. So yeah, there's definitely, I know me personally with kids, we're always looking for a trunk or treat or some type of event to do. So yeah, it's there's definitely plenty of opportunity out there.
Speaking of trunk or treat, that's a really good. Most bowling centers have nice large parking lots, and you can frame this however you want. But that's a great starting point is to get the everybody driven to your center. But I've even heard of some centers that their league bowlers kind of have a contest to
Okay.
see who can decorate their trunk up the coolest. And then they bring the candy, and this is a fun event for your league bowlers as well. But it drives people to your parking lot. And then to have events planned inside your center is kind of the next step. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today is, you've got to be creative. You've got to think of what would be fun for you. And at the end of the day, we want to also make this an event, you know, that's fun for your employees because you know how it goes when it's a holiday, everybody wants to turn in that request because they want to be off and they want to go do, their trick or treat fun themselves. So this is another reason why if you plan an event in your center, um, you know, the chances are if you make it a fun event for your employees as well, that maybe you won't have trouble having enough people to work the event. So
Yeah, definitely. You could do a costume contest, for the customers, for the kids. You could break it down to different categories, but one of them obviously best dressed, and you could even promote that, come in, as you'll see all the people dressed up for the contest, but not only will the customers be dressed up, our own staff's going to dress up, come in and see what what they did or how creative they've gotten.
yeah, and leverage your food and beverage manager, get them to come up with. There's all kinds of things. Pinterest is a great source for when you're looking for clever ways to prepare food. But have your food and beverage people come up with some specific things that you can serve that are, for this event. You can charge for them to come into this, a cover charge for them to come in. You can have some of the events for free and direct them to the events on the lane. So there's a number of ways that you can actually position the event, but what you're trying to do is create an experience, right? So as I mentioned, have your food and beverage people involved. Maybe serve some witch's brew or whatever, and get the dry ice and do the whole thing. We used to do a thing where we would throw the rats in the cauldron, and we would have a line, and we would let the kids each get 3 rats, and you could throw it in for a coupon to come back to the bowling center. Pin the tail on the black cat. You could have all these different events. You can do a pumpkin decorating contest on paper. I wouldn't recommend necessarily bringing in pumpkins for everybody, but you know
Yeah.
um
And
so those
big thing we forgot about is monster match. That's something huge you can do. That's always fun for everyone.
Absolutely. So, from a bowling standpoint, there's actually a number of things that you can do. If you are a Cubica AMF customer and you have Mad Games, you have a perfect opportunity to allow every guest that comes in to build their own unique monster with Monster Factory. So, that's definitely something that you need to leverage. For those that are not, maybe you have some lanes for building a monster, but, for the entire month of October, we used to love to run Hollow Pin as the default environment in our center because it really gets people in the theme, in the mood. And if you're doing a Halloween event, start promoting it early. And, by putting that environment as your default, that starts to get people thinking about Halloween. Another feature that, I don't know if you've used it, Orly, but the virtual red pen, have you ever used that?
I have not. You told me about it, but I haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Yeah, so be creative, listeners. So it's a virtual red pen, but you know what I like to call it for Halloween? I like to call it the bloody red pen or the crimson creeper. We have a lot of different names that we go for it, but promote that and promote it with the twist for Halloween. And, again, you're theming everything out. You're showing customers different options that they can do when they come in and bowl. So yeah, absolutely. Use some of the features that you have in your system to create that unique experience. Um, and
Yeah.
Orly, you mentioned a costume contest. I have to ask, what are you going to be for Halloween?
I was thinking of being so my son wants to be a football player. So I was thinking of being like an NFL, or not NFL, but a referee, football referee. And then I could just carry my little flag around and just kind of toss it at people, it kind of seems fun.
You would play that very well, very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, having a costume contest, not just for the guests coming into your center, but also include your employees in it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, candy. You can have different candy stations set up or alternatives to candy. So maybe you have, you're giving out mandarin oranges or,
That's no
whatever. I know it's no fun, but, you can even get the community involved in this as well. And, Orly, you and I are really good about talking about, we've talked about networking and building those relationships. This is another opportunity. Get
Yeah.
others in the community to come out.
Yeah. A good example is we met last year. I met a kid that has his own pumpkin farm. He runs a pumpkin farm. And I was like, hey, would you be willing to come set up a display in our center? And you could put a sign next to it saying this was donated or this was set up by such and such. That way he gets more customers coming out to his farm to buy pumpkins or hay bales or all that. So, and I
Yeah,
think another thing you got to remember too is some people might not be bowlers, but they might say, oh, there's a Halloween event at the bowling alley. So the bowling center. And then think of it as the perfect way. You're going to have a lot of new customers coming in. So make sure you show what you guys have there, to get these people to keep coming in. They might say, oh, wow, I didn't know, because there's numerous times where people come into our center and they're kind of like, oh, I didn't know you had this, or I didn't know you had that, or I didn't know you guys did this here, or we didn't even know you guys were in here, so it's the perfect opportunity to show what you have and hopefully to get those customers to keep coming in.
that's right. And I'm going to have to throw this out there. I know most of our listeners are already aware of this, but I have to remind everybody: plan ahead. Make sure that you are putting your thoughts together. You're getting your marketing material printed. If you're going to have printed material, make sure you've got it advertised on your monitors and elsewhere in the community. So I say that it all goes back to networking. It all goes back to relationships. So look, there's a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants in the community that have like a family night or a kids eat free night. Make sure you're going there and letting them know what's going to be happening at your center on Halloween or the weekend before Halloween or wherever you plan for your Boo Fest or whatever you decide to call it. Be creative with the name as well. But make sure that you're getting the word out. See if you can do a public service announcement on some of the radio stations. See if the local newspaper will do a little story on you. But make sure you're getting the word out because I can tell you, parents are looking for alternatives, and you need to be top of mind when they're doing that.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, you don't necessarily have to do it on Halloween either. You could do
That's right.
the weekend before, look where other places are doing it, because people will go to multiple trunk or treats. So, if you want to plan accordingly, a different day than somebody else, that way, everybody's going to be here that day. They'll come to ours that day. And then still on Halloween, you can still do a special event inside or something. So that's something to
Yeah.
look at.
Yeah, for sure. And think about ways that you can take all of those that are attending, ways that you're going to be able to get them back in your facility. So, if you've got multiple stations set up and you're giving out, candy or whatever, consider maybe giving away a coupon where they get a percentage off of their birthday party if they choose to have it in your center. Because you're going to have direct access to kids. So, something like that. They may not like it because it's not something sweet that they can unwrap and put in their mouth, but I guarantee you that mom and dad will like it. They'll see it. And hopefully that will get someone back in your center that's attended the trunk or treat or your Boo Fest or whatever you desire to call it. So lots and lots and lots of great opportunities. Again, theme it out. If you've got lighting in your center, create a spooky light show. Utilize the dry ice and like I said, create your witch's brew. That you can maybe give out orange Kool-Aid at the snack bar or whatever, and really theme it out and make the experience a great experience for the families. And like you said, Orly, maybe they had never come into your center before and were simply looking for something to do besides going trick or treating. So it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, let them know if they're new or they tell you, because you're gonna get people that come in and say like, oh, this is the first time we came here. Thanks for doing this. Let them know. Yeah, follow us on social media. We'll be posting other events coming up. Or if you already know you're going to do a Christmas event, yeah, I'm sure we're going to do a Christmas show. But, let them know, hey, we did this for Halloween, but we're going to be doing this again for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Or, get that out there, get that in their ear already, so they're ready to come back.
100%. And like I said, start marketing it. You need to get on the ball. It's just around the corner. So get your marketing material ready. Make sure that you are leveraging your social media to get that word out. If you have a database, send an email blast out to your database and really make this an event that everybody's going to be talking about. Great opportunity and one you certainly don't want to miss taking advantage of. So anything else that you can think of, Orly, that we need to make sure that the listeners are tracking?
I think that's all for me, but just like you said, just push the event. People are going to have fun. They're going to keep coming back. And that's just an important thing to do. So start planning now, because like she said, it's just around the corner. Hope you have a fun, safe, scary night.